Something big has just happened in the job market, which has not happened for numerous years, and it's going to have a huge impact on you and millions of job seekers around America. Today, we're going to talk about this new development, and I'm going to give you strategies, tools, and resources that are going to help you adapt with this new development. So, let's get started. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Recruiting Hero Show. My name is Colin Whittington. I am your host. I'm also the CEO and founder of Recruiting Heroes LLC, a national employment agency dedicated to helping you find incredible careers in the private sector. Excuse me. Today, we're talking about a new development that has just been announced that's going to have a huge impact on millions of job seekers, as I've already said. Before we do dive into this topic, I want to let you know I'm giving away my Heroes Job Search Guide. It's a fantastic resource that's completely for free. In the guide is my professional resume, instructions on how to write a fantastic resume, LinkedIn optimization tips, interview tips, and so much more. You can download it by clicking the link below or visiting recruitingheroesllc.com. You're going to learn throughout this video why this resource is so important, especially given the new development. So let's get started. It was just announced earlier this week that for the first time since April of 2021, that there are currently more job seekers in America than job openings. That has not been the case for the last couple of years. Even though the job market has been, for my opinion, horrendous, it has now crossed that threshold where there are actually more job seekers than job openings in America. And experts are predicting it's going to get even worse with job openings shrinking and shrinking, while the number of job seekers will continue to grow. So, how can you make sure that you are not the victim of this challenging job market? It all starts off with your network. Network is your net worth. As I like to say, who you know is often more important than what you know. And so many candidates are totally neglecting this part of the job search process and are instead focusing on applying as many roles as they can and hoping that they'll eventually hear back from one of their thousands of applications. That's not going to work anymore today because the average job opening in America is receiving hundreds, if not thousands, of job applications. So you're competing against so many other candidates who have just as good, if not better, resumes than you. So if you're not standing out just by your resume, the chances of you being asked to interview are slim to none. So networking is crucial. And I'm a huge proponent of LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn already, what are you doing? Get on there today. If you are on LinkedIn, make sure your profile is optimized for success. That includes having a professional image, a photo, having a professional background image, a great headline, an about section that's well written and tailored towards the industry you're pursuing, a completed experience section. All the skills, all the experience that you have should be on your profile and easily to be discovered by recruiters. Because let me tell you the truth, recruiters are spending more time looking at your LinkedIn profile than they are your resume. It might be hard to believe, but that's the truth. Last year, from all the candidates my company placed last year with our client companies, 60 or 65% of them, approximately, we found by our sourcing on LinkedIn, not ones who had applied for jobs that we had posted elsewhere. So LinkedIn is essential. I mentioned the Heroes Job Search Guide. One of the big things in that guide is my LinkedIn optimization strategy, where I walk you through exactly how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So, at the very least, I suggest you get this guide just for that. Even if you think your profile is great, you might learn a thing or two that can hopefully help you make your LinkedIn profile even stronger. All right, so LinkedIn's out of the way. Let's next talk about resumes. I touched on them already briefly. Unfortunately, most job openings right now are receiving hundreds of applications. So your resume is an important part of this process. As all of you know, companies are using applicant tracking systems. These are software that companies use to help streamline their hiring processes, help them stay organized, and help make recruiters' jobs easier. I will be honest, that's what it does. When you're applying for a job, no matter if you apply from LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, or the company's website, your resume gets funneled back to this company's ATS. The system will then scan your resume and scan the job description and tell the recruiter how close of a match you are for the job that you're applying to. So you could be a 20% match or an 80% match, or God forbid, a 5% match. And your placement in the rankings from top candidate to lowest candidate will really be dependent upon that scan. All right. So if a company is receiving hundreds of resumes, what are the chances the recruiter will actually read each one of those resumes? I can tell you right now, the chances are zero. Recruiters are working 20 plus jobs at a given time. Each job is getting 200 or 300 applications. They're just not going to happen that you're going to read through them all. They're going to let the system do the initial scan, tell them the top 10 or 20 resumes. They'll go through those top 10 or 20, and then from that, pick 3 or 4 people that they want to interview on top of the ones they may have found through networking. So that's why networking is so important. But without your strong resume, you also don't have a chance. So your resume needs to be as strong as possible. That means a couple of things. Make it 2 pages. No recruiter wants to read a 6 or 7 page long resume. You need a very strong executive summary. That's the summary right at the top of your resume. The average recruiter is spending about 7.4 seconds looking at a resume before deciding if they want to invest more time on that candidate. And oftentimes, the executive summary is one of the only things that he or she will read before deciding if this candidate's worth any extra time. So you need to make a very strong executive summary that's about 4 or 5 sentences long, no personal pronouns, no saying I, me, did this, whatever else, and really focus on achievements. Data, 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 metrics, metrics, metrics. Far too many candidates are being very vague with their resumes, just giving a very generic job description of what they've done. And this is getting them nowhere. You need to be specific and talk about the things that you have done and accomplished in your career and show why you are the best candidate for the job that you're applying to. And a huge part of that is tailoring your resume and tailoring your executive summary towards that job. The next section is a skills section. Have 9 to 12 skills that are really relevant towards that industry and that job. This is a great section because you can easily tailor it as well towards the job you're applying for. If you're applying for a job that has nothing to do with one of your skills you've listed on your resume, take that skill off and replace it with one that's more relevant to that job. It's not rocket science here, guys. This is super simple stuff. Make sure that your resume is really tailored towards that job you're applying for and showing why you are the best fit for that job and not just any random job. All right. Then go to your work experience. Start with your current or most recent job first and go backwards from there, focusing on the jobs you've had for the last 10 or maybe 15 years or so, because recruiters don't care about what you did 25 years ago. Use bullet points in this section. Big blocks of text are overwhelming for anyone to read, and most recruiters won't do it. Bullet points, bullet points, bullet points. Make it, again, achievements focused. Every single bullet point should have some kind of achievement in it. Otherwise, it's just wasting space. These generic bullet points where people are talking about how they responded to emergency calls for service is far too vague and is not going to help you get a job, all right? You need to talk about actual achievements, whether it be number of calls handled, investigations closed, programs initiated, students trained, whatever it is, really highlight on what you've done because your past performance is an indication of what you can do for this company in the future as well. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, tailor your entire resume towards this job. All right. Once you've actually applied for the job, all right, really recommend that you reach out to 3 to 5 people within this organization. If you happen to know who the recruiter is, message him or her for sure, but also reach out to other people. Go to the company's LinkedIn page, go to the People's tab, scroll over to the right, and see who you are connected with that works at that company. Ideally, first connections, but second or third ones are fine as well. Then reach out to them. And please, no copy and paste type of messages because recruiters can tell that from a mile away. Spend time actually coming up with a real message that really engages with that person. Maybe you went to the same university or both have a law enforcement background or something else that you can really focus on and mention in your message because that's going to help you stand out from the hundreds of other candidates who are sending generic, copy and paste type of messages. Another idea, everyone's sending text-based messages. Maybe you be different. Send a 30-second video where you introduce yourself, express interest in the job, and ask this person if they have a few minutes to talk to you. Ideally, what you're trying to do is get this person on a phone call or a Zoom call where you can really learn more about the company, more about this role, express your interest, and see if you can get an in with that company, because that is how you're absolutely going to get your job versus just applying and hoping for the best. And I didn't mention this before, but I should mention it now again. Make sure you're really tailoring your entire application for this job and making the effort with this extra networking. That means maybe you only apply for 3 or 4 jobs a day versus 20 or 30. But I would much rather that, because that means each one is very specific and you're not just throwing your resume out there hoping something sticks, because I promise you in this challenging job market, it won't. All right, guys. So that's a huge news that happened this week. More job seekers than job opportunities, which means it's going to get even more competitive from here on out, basically, to get a job. So you have to make these extra steps. Again, check out my free resource, the Heroes Job Search Guide. It's completely for free. Link is down below, or go to recruitingheroesllc.com, download it, read it, and implement my strategies. If you need more help, finding people jobs is what I do every single day. That's what I do. That's my living. I help candidates find jobs in the private sector, and I would love to help you, whether it be with a resume writing service, LinkedIn optimization, interview training, networking help, my Heroes Academy, which is coming out in 2 weeks. Check that out as well. Whatever I can do to help you, let me know. If you have other things that you want me to cover in future videos, add the comment down in the comment section below, because I want this channel to be useful to you. So if I haven't covered a certain part that you're stumbling upon or you're struggling with, let me know in the comment section, because then I'll make sure to make a video about this in the future. Also, do please like this video. It might seem unimportant, but to me, it really is important. It helps me reach more people. It helps me know that you're actually enjoying what I'm saying and it's not just wasting your time. And then subscribe to this channel as well, so I can continue to serve you and all our heroes across America. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe and make sure you tailor your applications and go find the job of your dreams. Have a good day.